Hello YouTube. Just a stray thought that's been bouncing around inside my head recently, and it's conveniently enough about cats. See, there's a lot of talk about colonisation of the moon, Mars, and beyond long term, but there is actually a crowd-funded initiative to set up a human colony on Mars that's due to leave next year or the year after. Whether it'll actually happen or not, who knows? It's called Mars One, I think. A friend of mine has one of the t-shirts. I don't know whether she actually thinks about it, but they've actually picked the people that are going to be, and it sounds great, and I really hope it happens. But it got me thinking, how will that affect cats? I know, it seems really irrelevant, but how will it affect cats? You see, if we're going to go, well, we are going to go, let's face it, it's going to happen eventually. When the human species goes to other planets, they're going to take animals with them. They're going to take cows, sheep, other food sources. They're also going to take pets, dogs and cats. I don't know as much about the other animals, but it was the cats specifically that got me thinking, because for those who don't know, she-cats, queens, go into heat based on the amount of sunlight that they receive. That's why kitten season, as they call it, tends to happen mostly in spring and summer, when the sunlight is at its most luminous, in relative terms. So how's that going to affect them if they're on Mars, which is much further away from the sun than the Earth is? It also has a very different atmosphere, which might reduce or increase the amount of sunlight. How are they going to breed? I mean, they're doing experiments about bees. It's really cool, actually. They have this little magnetic vibrating wand that they use to stimulate the plants and stimulate the bees and guide them to the right areas, because they use electromagnetism, use the Earth's magnetic field or something. I'm not a scientist, so don't... But Google it anyway. They go and they travel around, and they go from one plant to another, and they pollinate, and bees are responsible for pretty much the entire ecosystem of our planet, which is why this whole colony collapse thing, you know, what about the bees in the happening? That's why that's actually a really big deal, which needs a lot more attention in the general populace. But they've done that anyway, but like I said, keep going back to, what about cats? What will it mean for their species? I'm sure we'll find a way to artificially stimulate them to breed, and probably more selective breeding, which might end up having a positive impact on them, because a lot of cats suffer tumours because of the way their reproductive cycle currently works. But then there are other factors to consider as well. The gravity on Mars is different than it is on the Earth, which means bones won't need to be as strong to carry your weight, which means that they'll be more brittle, thus more likely to break. Also, they will be able to grow longer, which means people will be able to be larger. And there's also the fact that there's no oxygen there, so all the oxygen we use will be imported, which means the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere being breathed in will be much higher than it is on Earth, much purer as well. And it's another scientifically recognized phenomena that creatures grow relative to the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, which means people again are going to grow larger, which leads to certain problems. I mean, you think about it, if we go up there and we take with us habitation things that are like 7 feet tall, and then 10 generations from now the average height is 9 feet. Okay, that's a minor problem, because that could be, you just build habitation, don't you? You make the ceilings higher. They're not going to rely entirely on things that they're going to dig down and stuff. On the other hand, it has it could lead to a positive turnaround from the fact that other animals are also going to be larger. Cows. Imagine a cow 4 times the size it is now. It'd be a lot more difficult to deal with, a lot more dangerous if it falls over and squishes you, but it will also produce a lot more meat. So, I suppose what I'm really wondering is, it's more one of the philosophical quandary, isn't it? Is human beings are going to go to space. They're going to colonize other planets. It's just, it will happen. It's that straightforward. Why? Because they can. But what's it going to lead to? What sort of impact is that going to have on human culture and animals in general? It starts playing its whole moral thing, playing God. I think it's going to make for a very interesting future. And I don't really have any answers. I don't know what it's going to do. I just think, to be honest, I think it'll be really interesting. So, yeah, what does everybody else think? That was just my 10 cents on the matter. I just wanted to mull it over and get it out there and get it out of my brain. So yeah, until the next time I have a random, completely pointless splurge of thoughts, thank you for watching. Cats are going to be huge, by the way. Space cats.